Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do a review of the iconic, but not very popular, Buckingham Nicks. This was the precursor to Lindsey Buckingham and Steve Nicks joining Fleetwood Mac. They were recording this album in the same studio down the hall during a Fleetwood Mac recording session, and the rest is history. This is an album that kind of holds a mythical status in the vinyl record community because it's a record that really never got reissued. So if you wanted an original of it, you had to pony up some money and you had to spend a little time digging for one. They're not easy to find. So for that reason, it's just kind of been one of those records, I think, that's been always very high on record collectors' lists, just to own it. Musically, it's okay. It's not, it's not their best output, but you could really listen to this record and hear the early makings of what became an absolutely fantastic songwriting duo, in conjunction with Fleetwood Mac. But there are benefits to the self-titled Fleetwood Mac album, and Rumors that came after it obviously were quite a big move forward for the band, moving from that classic blues band to that rock pop hit-making machine that they became. The reason I'm doing this review is they've recently reissued 2 new versions of it for the first time in many, many decades. Now, this was kind of a weird anomaly because they did 2 simultaneous reissues, and both of them are audiophile reissues. We have the analog cut from the original master tape copy by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grumman Mastering here. This is either on pink or baby blue vinyl. But simultaneously, probably within a week, I think they picked it up from Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, and he used that to make the Rhino High Fidelity. So I have both of the modern reissues of the record. Both came out, again, same day. And then I have both original versions. When I say both, this album was mastered at Sterling, but Robert Ludwig cut some of them. So here I have the Robert Ludwig cut version, and then I have the non-Robert Ludwig cut version. Both done at Sterling, but only one being done by Robert Ludwig. So I thought this kind of was a unique opportunity to do a shootout because it wasn't that difficult. There's only 4 records here. There's not really, I don't have to shoot out records from all over the country or all over the world. This is really what you need to look at. We've got originals, we've got the Bellman, we've got the Robert Ludwig. That's the bulk of what's out there. It's not a Dark Side of the Moon type of shootout to where I have to listen to 857 different copies for 4 months before I can render a verdict. This was easy. But I gotta say, I had some preconceived notions going into this on how this was gonna pan out. I'm a little shocked how it did pan out. So, and to let you in on my thinking, you think you've got 2 top mastering engineers doing something from the original analog master tape within the same week. I thought the results would be a little bit more similar, and they weren't. But I'm gonna make you wait till the end to hear that. Let's talk about the original too. This isn't even close. Oddly enough, both done at Sterling Sound. The Robert Ludwig in this case is unbelievably better. It has a punchiness and a drive to it that the standard non-Robert Ludwig version does not have. This has a flatter, more even keel sound. Nothing really pops, nothing really stands out. The vocals, Lindsey Buckingham's guitar, all of it just kind of rests on kind of an even plane on the soundstage, and it's just there, and it's pleasant, and it's polite, and if you didn't know any better, you would be just kind of happy with that, right? But then you listen to the Robert Ludwig cut, and everything pops a little bit more. You have Lindsey's guitar, sounds a lot more plucky, a lot more stringy. It sounds like an actual string instrument. You can hear you can hear the wound strings, for instance, when he's playing. It has just a tighter sound to it. The bass, more dynamic and also tighter. It's just a lot more punchy and in your face. When the vocals kind of go in and out, you have more dynamic range to it. It's not just kind of a flat presentation on the soundstage. This is a no-brainer. Between the 2 of these, out of all 4 of these, the non-Robert Ludwig cut Sterling original is just comparatively terrible. It's no reason to own this at this point in time. If you have it, it's still worth about 75 to 100 bucks. You can sell it, you can make a little bit of cash, and you can buy a better version that is going to save you some money. There's just absolutely no reason at this point to own it. And I say that while looking at it and having a copy that I'll probably not sell myself, just so I can go back in the future and make reference to how crappy this sounds. This is not the copy for you. But not a record that I've ever shot out before. So it's really bizarre. Until this particular listening session, I didn't come to this conclusion. It was just something I had both of them in there, and if I wanted to listen to it, I would just grab one. But in this case, the Robert Ludwig, hands down, the winner. Now let's throw in the two newer pressings into the mix. Now, and a lot of you guys are watching, you're like, you love Kevin Gray, he's so fantastic, you have a bias, Kevin, you're gonna like the Kevin copy better. I know it. I don't need to watch the rest of the video. This is the way it is. He's the greatest, right? Okay, so I thought going into this, that might be the case, but I don't base that on me liking him personally. I base this is because he's really fucking good at what he does. And for years and years and years, I've been telling you this, long before I ever met him, and how much I loved his work because he's really good at what he does. Like, we all know that, right? But in this case, I really thought it was going to be a lot closer, and it wasn't. And I had somebody at the house with me today, and it was kind of nice because I'm listening, I'm doing a little shootout, and this person, not a Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks aficionado, not listening to this stuff, probably has never heard this record in their life because obviously this isn't a record you can even stream until recently. And I'm going back and forth, I'm in the sound room and I'm playing these records one after another, and I'm just kind of getting opinions. How does this stack? What do you think of these two? What are your differences? And it was great because we were simpatico on our choices here. And I think it was that clear cut. Somebody who's never shot a record out in their life, it was really, really apparent. And this is just hands down much better. And this is actually really terrible. And I'm shocked to say it. And I like Chris Bellman. I don't know what happened with this. This sounds awful compared to the Rhino Hi-Fi. The Robert Ludwig, I would take over this Chris Bellman cut like any day of the week, twice on today. Much, much better. I don't know what happened here. It is so flat. It's like, I don't know if Chris took this original Sterling cut and said, you know what? This is the flat anemic. I mean, you wouldn't know, I guess, if you only listen to this, but this is flat. This is anemic sounding. There's not much going on. And if you match the Chris Bellman cut to it, it's kind of a better version of this crappy anemic copy. So you've got a crisper, clearer, crappy anemic copy with this new Chris Bellman cut. It's befuddling. I don't know how that happened. There's no balls to this record whatsoever. And Lindsey Buckingham's playing, he has tunes that just need to be cranked, right? Don't Let Me Down Again. It's just one of those tunes with that driving guitar and that twang. It just falls so flat on this copy. I'm just so shocked. I didn't think I would have to go on camera and tell you guys it was this terrible because I love so much stuff that Chris Bellman does. He's come the work he did with some stuff on Classic and just Neil Young reissues, Van Halen stuff. He's done so many great titles that sound so good, but this just isn't one of them. This is awful. And I say this to you as somebody who has a warehouse full of these, that you still shouldn't buy them. And I guess, I probably will sell them eventually, but I have a warehouse full of these and this is terrible. And I have a huge weight on this because Rhino didn't make enough of these. But this is just hands down so much better. The vinyl's just as good. I mean, I've got the baby blue copy here, but if you have the baby blue or the pink, that doesn't matter. They're using the same metal plates. The mastering is the same. And this blue vinyl is actually quiet. It's not something that would bother me. So that's not an issue. And I mean, it has the cheaper cover, But I tried to ignore that, although if you had an opportunity to buy one versus the other and they both sounded the same, you'd probably want this beautiful tip-on jacket. But in terms of just sheer sound quality, the Rhino Hi-Fi is so much better. It's similar to the Robert Ludwig. I kind of get the feeling maybe Kevin was shooting out between the Robert Ludwig when he cut his, and Chris Bellman was doing the non-Ludwig Sterling copy. So we've got 2 sad, anemic copies versus 2 ass-kicking copies. The only difference is the Kevin Gray cut has much more thunderous, tight bass. I mean, good bottom end. And I mean, who doesn't love a good bottom end in their record, right? It's so much better. The guitar, there's so much more bite when he's strumming. The vocal just fills up the soundstage a lot better. But the biggest difference is just the detail. Lindsey Buckingham's guitar is so much better. It's so much more prominent. This is just, if you've got 2 of them. Now, I actually, in all honesty, haven't watched anybody's review of this. I've been so busy. I've been going through so much personal stuff I'm dealing with. Busy at the shop. I haven't listened to one review on this, and I'm curious what your guys' opinion are. I'm sure a lot of you guys have purchased both of these records because it was too enticing for the degenerates out there like myself who just could do one of these at-home shootouts. You could buy 2 brand new audiophile records today and shoot them out. So I'm wondering what your guys' opinions are. My opinion is the Rhino Hi-Fi is much better. And I mean, it's my opinion, but like, that's really what it is, right? Like, who are we kidding here? I know what I'm talking about. This is the one you want. It's so much better. It's not even close. It's fantastic. And I got the numbered copy, the non-numbered copy, doesn't matter. They're both cut from the same metalwork. But if I wasn't a degenerate, I could feel really comfortable with just getting rid of these other 3 copies. And this is just hands down so damn good. I expected it again. Just my bias going into this was like, oh, it's going to be a little bit better. But, you know, it's not going to be a home run. It's not going to be slam dunk. It's going to be close. It's going to be a little bit better. It's not. It's much, much better. So, yeah, that's where I'm at on this. So just running it down from the top, the Rhino Hi-Fi, hands down, number 1. The Robert Ludwig, I would go with number 2. This is a much better sounding copy than the other ones. This is really good. It's essentially very similar to the Kevin Gray cut, with just less detail, less bass. You know, this is just the difference between a system that's been refined over the last 55 years, 50 years, I guess it's been. And then you've got the 2 pretty terrible copies. I would do the Bellman copy just because it's a little bit clearer than the non-Robert Ludwig Sterling copy. But this is $25 and the Robert Ludwig is $38. If you buy this record over the Rhino Hi-Fi to save $13, like, what the hell are you doing? If you're trying to save some money, go stream it. It's free if you don't care about the sound quality. But here, yeah, it's a no-brainer. All right, I've got this mediocre copy right now available on the website for $25 if you'd like to buy one. Baby blue vinyl or in pink. I don't recommend it. The Rhino Hi-Fi is in print. They're difficult to get at the moment when I'm filming this video, so you might have to wait a little bit, but I've got it on good authority that we're going to be loaded up with them in about a month's time, around November 2020. November 2025, the beginning of November. So definitely worth the wait. It is a good album. It is worth owning. There is some highlights on it. You know, you can really listen to 3 or 4 tracks and see everything that was to come. There's a couple of filler tunes on it, you know, but there's a couple of tracks that really kind of lay out the future of what was to be one of the best-selling bands of all time. Rumors is still maybe one of my top 3 best-selling records in the store, theingroove.com. It rotates. It's either Lana Del Rey's Born to Die, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and Fleetwood Mac Rumors. I sell an absolute ton of them and have for 10 years, nonstop. So yeah, check us out online at theingroove.com. Until next time.